just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thanks for having me.
And this is episode 206, and it's a real honor and privilege to doing this, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you and getting to know you. Now, with that being said, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. And the whole point of my show is for me to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any type of learning disability or disability in general, that you should prove to people you can still mount something. And it's just about proving people wrong. And then for the record, I kind of list your girlfriends who are a part of this. That would have been a lot more fun, but some people, it's really hard to please some people.
Well, we're in a special place right now where it's all about doing whatever you want, whenever you want, and there are whole hours where no one says anything to each other. It's actually really nice, very relaxing.
Well, I do have a couple of ideas after the show if you're interested. But we can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, let me know.
So, starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm an actress and a writer, and I have produced some things in the past. I write a lot of comedy, and some of the things I've produced I've been in. And luckily, one of the shows, Broad Strokes, we have 40 episodes, and 3 of them were featured on Laughs, which is a comedy show on Fox Network. I think it's on around midnight in most. Feature stand-ups, and then they do some sketch, and that's some of the things that I've done was sketch. So that's been pretty nice.
All right. We just, because it was fading in, fading out, could you just say we got bits and pieces. You were saying you're on Fox, and it's on late at night, and what was the other part you were saying?
It's on the last TV show on the Fox Network. Well, you're right, we really are having a bad connection. I heard half of what you said.
Hey, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you some hard-hitting questions, and then I'm going to pass the show over to you and then put you in the driver's seat. Don't forget to like the new KeithAndrewNetWork.com. Like our new page. And share it. Don't forget to follow KeithAndrew88 on Twitter. Don't forget to follow the Keith Andrew Network on YouTube under the name Keith Andrew Network. That's one word, Keith Andrew Network. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 206. It's a very special episode because we're switching back and forth between Google Hangout and FaceTime, and apparently someone likes giving me a hard time, but for you, you're a beautiful woman, and it's well worth it.
Thank you.
Now, before we talk to commercial break, I was going to say I'm going to pass the show over to you, but I'm going to ask you a lot of hard-hitting questions, and starting off, when you were in high school, did you do any sports, and were you a party animal?
No, I was very much not sporty in any way, shape, or form. And I definitely, right towards the end, junior and senior year, surprisingly hard, even when they lived down the street. Everyone's so busy. You have your auditions, or your meetings, or your classes, and they all take place at different times, and then of course you have your day job if you're not lucky enough to be doing it full time, and it's just incredibly hard to put together time to hang out with people because you don't have a 9-to-5 job, so there's no way to say, hey, I'll hang out with you after work. Because
Right.
there is no, what time is that? It could be 11 p.m. or, I have time at 9:35. Are you free? And there's a lot of that. Sometimes you hang out at weird hours.
Well, I'm a good friend, so if you ever need anything or if you ever just want to talk, you can count on me. One thing I pride myself on is giving people my word. I just give people, you giving me respect, I give you respect. And it's just all about making a difference in someone's life, because one day when you die or when I die, it's always going to be better to say, what I remember about you is you were a good friend, or I remember you made a difference. What you're doing right now, you're making a difference in my life by helping me reach my goal and being on my talk show. And I hope I'm making a difference in your life, and even if it's in a tiny, infinite, tiny little speck of a way, but it's point of life is doing what you love and making a difference. And I do have one little request. Is there a way you can turn the screen sideways so I can get the full screen?
Let's see. Is that better?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay.
Now, do you have any other subjects, or I want to get you fired up. What are you very passionate about? What gets you going?
Well, of course I love acting, and comedy is a big part of that right now. Hoping to book a role on the show Togetherness on HBO. And a lot of shows are on hiatus right now, but I'm still, really going for that. I'm telling everybody about it. As I'm sure you know, the more you talk about what it is that you want to do, the more people come out of the woodwork to help you. So I would love to get my first credit on an HBO show. I mean, who doesn't love HBO? And I also, I was writing a lot. I was writing a lot of comedy. I took a little bit of a break from it after Broad Strokes. I don't know if you watched any. They're 40 episodes. They're all under 40 seconds. So it's a nice, quick, mini laugh. Much in the way of saying making a difference in someone's life. It's nice to just be able to, watch something really fast, get a good laugh, and then go on with your day versus trying to take, an hour of your day to watch something funny. It was a lot of work, and while it was it was fun, and I'm so glad I did it, oh my gosh, by the end of it, I was like, I need a break, I can't do anything right now, but it's been about 8 months, and I'm ready to start writing again, so I'm excited to do maybe another comedy, maybe a kid-centric show, family stuff's very in right now. I don't know if you watch a lot of television. Sometimes.
Well, if you're interested, would you be interested in working together? You know a lot of people, and you can pass the word around about my show and how I'm helping. And if you like me to promote whatever you're doing, I'm more than happy to. That's the whole point in this business, is to help each other. Going back to one interview I did. It's funny that I should be saying it, because that's what someone said to me, is that the whole point is to help each other. I'm doing everything, and I know people would criticize about my talk show. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I used to tape from my phone to the screen. Now I'm taping from the camera, as you can see from the screen. And my next step is to get like a hotel room, or just rent a place, or if you want to rent out your place, I can pay you for rent to get like a studio. But I'm doing everything I can, and I have a learning disability. I'm capable of doing this because I've been doing this since I'm 27 now. I've been doing this since I was 15. So, I can't snap my fingers, but day in, day out, I've been hammering this, and you'd be surprised how far I came in development and how I changed. And I tried looking for sponsors. Sponsors aren't interested because they say, well, come back. They say that's in against me. And I don't mean to bitch to you. I apologize. They,
No, it's fine.
they say...
What is it that, who are you targeting though? I mean, maybe if you narrow down your focus to a very specific group, I mean, it really just takes one. I mean, go after Oprah or Ellen. Have you done that yet?
Trying to. I interviewed people from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I interviewed, I started off small. Going back to what I was saying about, they asked me what's your demographic, what do you cater to, how many hits do you get, and I'll pass that back over to you in a couple minutes after this tiny little rant. I interviewed my good friend Kerrigan Mayhem. He does the voice of Goldar. I interviewed Ron Reisman. He's on the Thundermans. He does the background music. I did a demo interview, practice interview with Barbara Goodson. She was Rita Raposa. Let's see who else. I interviewed Eric Vale from Dragon Ball Z. Kyle Herbert from Dragon Ball Z, Spider-Man, Sarah Valentine's. I interviewed Mark Melanie. He has his own talk show. People that you might know. Are you a wrestling girl or are you not a wrestling girl?
Wrestling? No.
Well, I interviewed Sonny Ono. He was the manager of WCW. I interviewed Brodus Clay. I interviewed Double J, Jet Jarrett, the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage, Randy Pablo. So pretty much, it's funny how it's got to be 2 years this June. I started off just interviewing voiceover people. I was like, okay, well, let's keep pushing the envelope. And from voiceovers, I went from actors to actresses to CEOs to now I'm on this wrestling binge. 5 minutes. I always take a break from CEOs, but I may go back to that because wrestlers are a real pain in the ass to get hold of. But I pretty much interview everyone. It doesn't matter if you're famous, not famous. Hell, you can interview me if you want. I interview anyone who wants to make a new friend, make a difference, and just enjoy life. Because that's the point of life. It's making a difference and doing what you love. And, one thing a lot of people say, it's an American thing, that they always like to put labels on people. So it's my way of saying, hey, I may have a learning disability, but look at what I'm passionate about doing. Now, after that little rant, I'm going to pass it back to you. And what movies have you starred in? And does your following on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever really influence you? Or does that influence your career choices? Does that impact that?
Social media does not impact my choices. I have a good time with it. I really enjoy Twitter and Instagram. I like that you can meet people that you would never normally meet.
Right.
And, just hear different opinions. But I wouldn't make a choice based on, oh, well, maybe my Twitter followers will like me more if I do this. I was just in a movie that hopefully will be out in the next month or two. We're still in post-production. It's called Probable Robot, and you can look it up. It's such a cool concept. It's sort of a sci-fi comedy, almost like Shaun of the Dead, but there's, a real relationship being explored. It's maybe a little less funny than that. I don't know. I don't want to it's a very funny movie, but it's not Shaun of the Dead, but it's along those lines. And I really liked that the two protagonists, they're lesbians, but that's not the point of the story. That's not what it's focused on, because just because you're a lesbian doesn't mean that's your entire life and that's all you think about. Like, you have other things going on. Like, maybe there's a robot invasion and you have to deal with that. And I loved that. I loved that it wasn't, you know, here's this movie and we have to talk about what it means to be a lesbian, because that's not what you don't walk around all day and be like, I'm heterosexual and let's talk about what that means to me. You don't do that. So why does every movie have to be centered around that part of someone's life? So, it's very, like, it's not discussed, it's not the center, it's just sort of this side fact, just the way when a protagonist is heterosexual, it's just a side fact. And I love that. I loved it about the movie. It was like, oh, this isn't, you know, an LGBT film. It's just this really funny sci-fi comedy. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see it. I'm one of the paramedics, so I get to help.
Well,
No, don't worry about it. I'm sure you get a lot of comments at the end of a video that are unpleasant. I've definitely seen that. You know, someone puts up a video about putting on makeup and it gets dirty really quickly about, you know, eyeliner and whatnot. You really can't avoid what other people are going to say.
you know, it's.
Yeah, it is very easily misinterpreted.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I never, maybe one of my videos, maybe once or twice, I have to look at it. It was about Lenny Pablo. Only one person out of 206 interviews, thanks to you, out of 206 interviews, only one video got commented on. It's like, okay, you guys are watching my work, but I want some feedback. Tell me what to change, what to do. I'm banging my head against, not literally, but I'm like banging my head off the wall. It's, why are you watching it if you're not going to give me feedback? Yes, I know I have a learning disability, but I can take criticism. You know, my family does that all the time. You know, so if I can deal with them, then I can deal with a complete stranger saying, your show sucks, or why do you do this, or you should do that. But, you know, I didn't get anything except that one comment.